Before we dive into this story, drop a comment below and tell us where you're watching from. Now, let's begin. It was an ordinary Thursday afternoon at Harper's Grocery in the small town of Millbrook, the kind of place where everyone knew everyone, where the cashiers called you by name, and where nothing unusual ever really happened. Officer Marcus Brennan had stopped by after his shift, still in uniform, grabbing the essentials: bread, coffee, and frozen dinners for one. At 52, with 28 years on the force, Marcus had seen enough of life's darker corners to appreciate these quiet, predictable moments. That's when he noticed her. A little girl, no more than 7 years old, walking slowly through aisle 3. Her clothes hung loose on her small frame, too big and worn thin. Her hair was tangled, her face smudged with dirt that looked days old. But it was her eyes that stopped Marcus cold. Eyes that seemed far too old for such a young face, carrying a weight no child should know. She was holding the hand of a man Marcus didn't recognize. The man looked uncomfortable, glancing around nervously as the girl shuffled beside him, silent tears streaming down her cheeks. Marcus's instincts kicked in immediately. He moved closer, pretending to browse the cereal boxes, watching carefully. As they passed him, the little girl's head turned. Her eyes locked onto Marcus's uniform, onto the badge on his chest, and then, in a voice barely above a whisper, so quiet he almost missed it, she said, "I don't know him." Time seemed to stop. The man froze mid-step, his face going pale. Marcus stepped forward, his hand instinctively moving to his belt, his voice calm but commanding. "Sir, I need you to stop right there." The next few minutes were a blur of confusion. The man, whose name was Darren Walsh, stammered explanations. Something about the girl approaching him in the parking lot, crying, saying she was hungry. He swore he was just trying to help, trying to figure out what to do. Other shoppers had stopped now, watching the scene unfold. The store manager rushed over. Marcus raised his hand, signaling everyone to stay calm, and gently separated the girl from the man. He knelt down to her level, his voice soft. "Sweetheart, what's your name?" She stared at him with those haunting eyes, her lip trembling. Finally, she whispered, "Lily. Lily, that's a beautiful name. Are you okay? Are you hurt?" She shook her head slowly, but her small body was shaking. "Where are your parents, honey? Where's your mom or dad?" Lily looked down at her worn-out shoes with holes in the soles that let the cold floor touch her feet. Her voice was barely audible. "I live with Grandma Nora." Marcus felt his chest tighten. This wasn't a kidnapping. This was something else. Something that made his years of experience scream that this child was in trouble. Deep trouble. The kind that hides in plain sight every single day. He looked at her more closely now. The hollow look of hunger in her face, the way she trembled despite the warm store. The dirt under her fingernails that spoke of days, maybe weeks without proper care. Her lips were chapped, her skin pale. "Lily?" Marcus said gently, placing a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "Can you tell me why you were with that man?" Her answer was so simple, so devastatingly honest. It nearly broke him right there in the middle of aisle 3. "I was so hungry. I thought maybe he would take me somewhere to eat. Grandma forgets sometimes." Marcus felt something shift inside him. A protective instinct he hadn't felt in years. Not since his own sister had needed him and he'd failed to be there. He looked into Lily's eyes and made a silent promise. He would find out what was happening to this little girl. Marcus radioed for backup and called social services from the store manager's office. Within 20 minutes, Vanessa Torres arrived, a seasoned social worker in her mid-40s with kind eyes that had seen too many broken families. She found Marcus sitting with Lily in a quiet corner of the store, a bottle of water and a granola bar in front of the girl. Lily hadn't touched either one. "Hi there, sweetheart," Vanessa said softly, pulling up a chair. "My name is Vanessa. I'm here to help you. Is it okay if we talk for a little bit?" Lily's eyes darted between Marcus and Vanessa. She nodded, barely. "That's good. Thank you, Lily." Vanessa pulled out a small notepad. "Can you tell me your full name?" "Lily. Do you have a last name, honey?" Silence. Lily's small fingers twisted the hem of her oversized shirt. "That's okay. We can come back to that." "How old are you, Lily?" She held up 7 fingers. 7 years old. What a special age. Vanessa's voice remained gentle, patient. "Do you go to school, sweetheart?" Lily shook her head. Marcus and Vanessa exchanged a glance. No school meant no records, no teachers who might have noticed, no system keeping track of this child's welfare. "Can you tell me about your grandma? What's her name?" "Grandma Nora," Lily whispered. "And where does Grandma Nora live?" Lily's eyes filled with fresh tears. "I'm not supposed to tell, Grandma said. She said if I tell people, they'll take me away from her." Vanessa's expression remained calm, but Marcus saw the concern deepen in her eyes. "Lily, nobody wants to take you away from people who love you. We just want to make sure you're safe and healthy. Can you help us with that?" The girl sat frozen, torn between obedience to her grandmother's warnings and the desperate need for help that had driven her to approach a stranger in a parking lot. Meanwhile, in another part of the store, Marcus's partner had been questioning Darren Walsh. The man was visibly shaken, his hands trembling as he gave his statement. "I swear, officer, I've never seen that kid before in my life," Darren said, his voice cracking. "I was loading groceries into my truck when she just appeared. She was crying, saying she was hungry. I didn't know what to do. I thought maybe if I brought her inside, someone would recognize her or we could find her parents. I was just trying to help." A background check came back clean. Darren Walsh, 43, married with 2 kids of his own, no criminal record, not even a speeding ticket. He was released with a warning to call authorities immediately if something like this ever happened again. Back with Lily, Vanessa tried a different approach. "Lily, do you remember any places near your house? Maybe a church or a store or a park?" Lily thought for a moment. "There's a blue church with a tall cross. We have a dog named Rusty, but he's old and sleeps a lot." "That's very helpful, sweetie. Is your house close to the blue church?" "I think so. We can see it from the window." Marcus knew Millbrook well. There was only one church with a distinctive tall cross, St. Michael's on the east side of town. The surrounding area was mostly older homes, some well kept, others falling into disrepair. Vanessa continued her gentle questioning. "When was the last time you ate a real meal, Lily?" The girl had to think about it. "Maybe yesterday morning. Grandma made oatmeal, but then she forgot about lunch and dinner. She forgets a lot now. Does your grandma forget other things too?" Lily nodded slowly. "Sometimes she calls me Sarah, that's my mom's name. And sometimes she asks me if I did my homework, but I don't go to school. She gets confused about what day it is." Marcus felt his jaw tighten. The picture was becoming clearer. An elderly woman with failing memory, trying desperately to care for a young child, both of them slipping through the cracks of society. "Lily?" Vanessa asked carefully. "Where is your mom? Where is Sarah?" For the first time, real fear flashed across Lily's face. Her voice dropped to barely a whisper. "Grandma says she went to get help. She says Mom will come back when she's better. But," Lily's lip trembled, "I don't remember what Mom looks like anymore." "There's a picture, but it's old. How long has your mom been gone, sweetheart?" "I don't know, a long time. Grandma says she'll be back soon, but she's been saying that forever." Vanessa closed her notepad and reached out, gently taking Lily's small, dirty hand. "Lily, you did the right thing today. Asking for help took a lot of courage. We're going to find your grandma and make sure both of you get the help you need. Okay?" Lily looked up at Marcus with those haunted eyes. "Will you come too? Grandma gets scared of strangers, but you have a kind face. Maybe she won't be scared of you." Marcus felt his throat tighten. He nodded. "I'll be right there with you, Lily. I promise." As they prepared to leave the store, Lily finally reached for the granola bar. She unwrapped it carefully, as if it were precious, and took small, deliberate bites, the way someone eats when they don't know when food will come again. Vanessa whispered to Marcus, "We need to find this grandmother fast, and we need to be prepared for what we might find." Marcus looked down at Lily, this brave little girl who'd had to fend for herself in ways no child should. "Let's go bring her home." The drive through Millbrook's east side took less than 10 minutes, but it felt like entering a different world. The houses grew smaller, the yards more overgrown, the paint more faded with each passing block. Lily sat in the back of Vanessa's car, her face pressed against the window. Marcus followed in his patrol car, watching the child's silhouette through the windshield. "That one," Lily said suddenly, pointing to a small house with peeling blue paint. "That's where we live." Vanessa pulled to the curb. The house looked like it was slowly surrendering to time. The front porch sagged in the middle, wooden steps worn smooth by years of use. Several windows were covered with plastic sheeting, taped haphazardly where glass should have been. The yard was a tangle of weeds and tall grass that hadn't been cut in months, maybe longer. A rusted mailbox leaned at an angle near the road, the name Hayworth barely visible beneath layers of weather damage. Marcus approached the front door, Vanessa and Lily close behind. He knocked firmly but not aggressively. "Mrs. Hayworth, this is Officer Brennan with the Millbrook Police. We have Lily here with us. Everything's okay." No answer. He knocked again, louder this time. "Mrs. Hayworth?" Finally, they heard movement inside, slow, shuffling footsteps. The door opened just a crack, and an elderly woman peered out, her eyes clouded with confusion and suspicion. Nora Hayworth looked to be in her late 70s, though hardship might have aged her beyond her years. She was thin, almost frail, wearing a faded housecoat that had seen better decades. Her white hair was uncombed, and her face showed the deep lines of worry and exhaustion. "Who are you? What do you want?" Her voice was scratchy, uncertain. "Grandma," Lily pushed forward. "Grandma, it's me." Nora's expression shifted, confusion giving way to recognition, then to something like relief mixed with fear. "Lily, baby, where have you been? I've been looking everywhere for you." "Ma'am, I'm Officer Brennan, and this is Vanessa Torres from Social Services. May we come in? We just need to make sure everything's all right." Nora's hands began to tremble. "Social Services? No, you can't take her. She's mine. Sarah left her with me. I promised I'd take care of her." "Nobody's taking anyone, Mrs. Hayworth," Vanessa said gently. "We just want to talk." Lily was found alone at the grocery store. "We need to understand what happened." Nora looked down at Lily, seeming to notice for the first time that something was wrong. "The grocery store? But I thought you were in the backyard. Or was that yesterday? Her face crumpled with confusion. "What day is it?" "It's Thursday, ma'am. May we please come inside?" Reluctantly, Nora stepped back, allowing them entry. The interior of the house took Marcus's breath away, and not in a good way. The living room was dim, curtains drawn against the afternoon sun. The air was stale and cold. Marcus realized quickly that the electricity had been shut off. No lights worked, and the refrigerator sat silent in the kitchen. But it was what sat on the kitchen table that truly broke his heart. A worn notebook lay open, filled with shaky handwriting in different colored inks. The same words repeated over and over across the pages. "Lily, breakfast 7 a.m., lunch 12 p.m., dinner 6 p.m., don't forget medicine, don't forget Lily, don't forget." Some entries were crossed out, rewritten, dated and redated. It was the desperate attempt of a failing mind trying to hold onto responsibility, trying to remember the most important thing in her world. Vanessa picked up the notebook carefully, her eyes scanning the pages. Marcus saw her jaw tighten with emotion. Nora noticed and snatched it back protectively. "That's mine. I need that. How else will I remember? I have to remember to feed her. I have to remember everything." "Mrs. Hayworth," Marcus said softly, "when was the last time you were able to buy groceries?" Nora's eyes darted around, searching for an answer in the empty cupboards, the dark refrigerator. There's food. I'm sure there's food. I went shopping. Last week? Or was it?" She trailed off, lost. Marcus opened the refrigerator. Inside were a half-empty jar of expired peanut butter, a moldy loaf of bread, and nothing else. "Grandma tries really hard," Lily said quietly, moving to her grandmother's side. "Sometimes she remembers. Sometimes she makes really good oatmeal." Nora's hand reached out and stroked Lily's tangled hair, and for a moment, clarity seemed to return to her eyes. "I'm doing my best, baby. Your mama's coming back soon. She promised she'd come back and then everything will be better. Sarah always keeps her promises." "Mrs. Hayworth," Vanessa said carefully. "Where is Sarah? When did you last see her?" The elderly woman's face went through a series of expressions: confusion, fear, sadness, and finally, something that looked almost like desperation. "Sarah had some troubles, bad people around her. She needed to get away to get better. She said she'd be back for Lily once she got herself sorted out. That was..." Nora's voice faded. "I don't remember. Time gets mixed up now. But she's coming back. She promised." Marcus knelt down beside Lily. "Sweetheart, do you remember your mom?" Lily shook her head, only from the picture. She pointed to the wall where a faded photograph hung in a crooked frame. A young woman, maybe in her mid-20s, holding a baby. The woman had Lily's same delicate features, the same shape to her eyes. "That's my mama," Lily said. "Grandma talks to the picture sometimes. She cries a lot when she looks at it." Vanessa stepped closer to Nora, her voice gentle but firm. "Mrs. Hayworth, I need you to understand something. Lily needs regular meals, she needs to be in school, and she needs medical care. You're not well enough to provide these things right now. That doesn't mean you don't love her. I can see how much you do. But we need to get both of you some help." "No!" Nora's voice rose in panic. "If you take her, Sarah won't know where to find her when she comes back. I promised I'd keep her safe until Sarah came back. I promised." Tears streamed down the elderly woman's face. Lily wrapped her small arms around her grandmother's waist, and both of them stood there, holding onto each other like shipwreck survivors clinging to driftwood. Marcus felt something crack in his chest, a feeling he hadn't allowed himself in years. Not since he'd lost contact with his own sister, Rebecca. Not since he'd learned what it meant to fail someone you were supposed to protect. "Mrs. Hayworth," he said quietly, "I give you my word that we'll do everything we can to help both of you. But right now, we need to make sure Lily is safe and fed. Can you tell me, when was the last time a doctor saw either of you?" Nora's face went blank. "A doctor? I don't remember. Sarah used to handle all that." The full picture was devastatingly clear now. An elderly woman with advancing dementia, left alone to care for a young child with no resources, no support, and no safety net. Both of them invisible to a system that should have seen them long ago. "Grandma," Lily whispered, looking up at Nora with eyes full of love and sadness. "I think we need help. It's okay to need help." Vanessa made several phone calls from the front porch, while Marcus stayed inside with Nora and Lily. Within the hour, a medical evaluation team arrived, along with another social worker to assist with the situation. Marcus watched as Nora struggled to answer even basic questions. What year was it? She wasn't sure. Who was the president? She couldn't remember. What had she eaten that morning? Her face went blank. But when they asked about Lily, something shifted. Her eyes would focus. Her voice would strengthen. And she'd say with absolute certainty, "That's my grandbaby. I take care of her. I promised Sarah." The medical team recommended immediate evaluation at the county hospital. Nora showed signs of severe malnutrition, dehydration, and what appeared to be advanced dementia, possibly Alzheimer's disease, though formal diagnosis would require proper testing. "Mrs. Hayworth," the lead physician said gently, "we need to take you to the hospital to make sure you're healthy, just for a little while." "No, I can't leave Lily alone. Who will feed her? Who will make sure she's safe?" "I'll stay with Lily," Marcus heard himself say. Everyone turned to look at him. "I'll make sure she's taken care of. You have my word." Nora studied his face for a long moment, as if trying to decide whether to trust this stranger in uniform. Finally, she nodded slowly. "You seem like a good man. You have kind eyes, like my husband used to have before he passed." As the medical team prepared to transport Nora, she suddenly grabbed Marcus's arm with surprising strength. For just a moment, her eyes cleared completely, a window of lucidity breaking through the fog. "Officer, I need to tell you something," she whispered urgently. "I'm not stupid. I know my mind is going. I know I'm forgetting things I shouldn't forget. But I remember promising Sarah I'd keep Lily safe. And I'm failing. I'm failing both of them." Her grip tightened. "Don't let them put Lily in the system, please. She's not just a case number. She's a little girl who's already lost so much. She deserves someone who sees her, really sees her." Before Marcus could respond, the fog returned to Nora's eyes. She looked around, confused again. "Where are we going? Where's Lily?" "I'm right here, Grandma," Lily said, taking her grandmother's hand. "You're going to see doctors who will help you feel better, and Officer Marcus is going to stay with me." "Marcus," Nora repeated, as if trying to commit the name to memory in a mind that no longer reliably held such things. That's a strong name. A good name. After Nora was taken away, Vanessa sat down with Lily at the kitchen table. Marcus stood nearby, listening. Lily, I need to ask you some important questions, okay? About your mom. The little girl nodded. You said you don't remember her much. Can you tell me anything you do remember? Lily thought hard, her forehead wrinkling with concentration. Grandma says I was really little when Mama left. Maybe 3 or 4. I remember. She paused. I remember someone singing to me and the smell of flowers. Grandma says Mama loved flowers. Did your grandma ever talk about where your mom went? She said Mama had to go away because bad things were happening. That some people were hurting her and she needed to be safe. Grandma said Mama went to get help so she could come back and be a good mama again. Vanessa wrote carefully in her notes. Did anyone ever come looking for your mom? Police? Friends? Anyone? Lily shook her head. Just us. Always just us and Grandma Nora. Marcus felt anger building in his chest, not at this child or her grandmother, but at a system that had somehow allowed them to disappear completely. No school enrollment meant no mandatory reporters. No medical visits meant no doctors raising concerns. No family or friends checking in meant no one to sound the alarm. They were ghosts, living in plain sight. Lily, Vanessa continued, I need you to be very brave now. We're going to need to find you a safe place to stay while your grandma gets better. Just temporarily. Fear flashed across Lily's face. No, Grandma needs me. Who's going to remind her to eat? Who's going to help her when she gets confused? Sweetheart, the doctors and nurses will take care of your grandma now, but you need to be somewhere with regular meals, a warm bed, and people who can take care of you properly. I want to stay here. This is my home. Marcus knelt down beside her. Lily, look at me. I know this is scary. I know everything feels like it's changing too fast, but staying here alone isn't safe. There's no power, no food, and you need to be somewhere you can be a kid, not someone who has to take care of a grown-up. Tears streamed down Lily's face. But what if Mama comes back and we're not here? What if she can't find us? It was the question that broke Marcus's heart completely. This little girl, after years of absence, still held on to hope that her mother would return. Vanessa pulled out her phone and showed Lily some pictures. This is a place called Sunny Ridge Children's Home. It's just temporary, just until we figure everything out. There are other kids there and people whose job is to make sure you're safe and happy. Will Officer Marcus be there? Marcus and Vanessa exchanged glances. I can visit you, Marcus said carefully. I promise I'll check on you, and I'll make sure your grandma knows where you are so she won't worry. Promise. Lily's voice was so small, so desperate for something to hold on to. I promise. As Vanessa made arrangements for Lily's placement, Marcus walked through the small house, documenting everything for his report. In what appeared to be Lily's bedroom, barely big enough for the small bed and a dresser, he found drawings tacked to the walls. Childish sketches of flowers, houses, and families. One drawing showed 3 stick figures, a tall one labeled Mama, a medium one labeled Grandma, and a small one labeled Me. They were all holding hands, standing in front of a house with a sun overhead. The date scrawled in the corner was from 3 years ago. Marcus carefully took down the drawing and folded it, placing it in his pocket. Lily would want this, wherever she ended up. In the drawer of the dresser, he found a small wooden box. Inside were treasures only a child would save. A smooth river stone, a faded ribbon, a button, and a single photograph. The same one that hung on the wall, but smaller, more worn, as if handled frequently. On the back, in adult handwriting, Sarah and Lily, March 2018, my whole world. Marcus did the math. Lily would have been just a few months old. 6.5 years ago. Was that when Sarah disappeared? Before? After? He heard Vanessa calling from the other room. Marcus, we need to go. The placement is ready. When he returned to the kitchen, Lily was sitting perfectly still, her small hands folded in her lap, her face carefully blank, the expression of a child who had learned to hide her feelings to survive. Ready, sweetheart? Vanessa asked gently. Can I bring something? Lily asked. Just one thing? Of course. Lily went to her room and returned clutching a stuffed rabbit, its fur matted and one ear hanging by threads. Grandma gave me this when I was little. She said Mama picked it out before I was born. Marcus felt his throat tighten. That's a very special rabbit. What's its name? Hope, Lily said simply. Grandma named her Hope because she said that's what we had to keep. As they walked toward Vanessa's car, Lily turned back to look at the blue house one more time. Grandma tried really hard, you know. She really did. It's not her fault her brain doesn't work right anymore. I know, Marcus said, crouching down to meet her eyes. And you tried really hard too. But now it's time to let other people help. That doesn't mean you love your grandma any less. Lily climbed into the car, clutching Hope the rabbit tightly. As Vanessa pulled away from the curb, Marcus stood watching until the car disappeared around the corner. Then he turned back to the blue house where time had stopped, where two people had been fighting a losing battle against circumstance and failing health, where love had tried desperately to be enough but couldn't conquer everything. His phone buzzed. A text from the hospital. Nora Hayworth diagnosed with advanced Alzheimer's, severe malnutrition, and possible kidney issues. Will require extended care. Family contact information needed. Marcus looked at the empty house and typed back. No other family listed. Still searching for daughter Sarah Hayworth. Will update soon. He sat in his patrol car for a long time, staring at the photograph he'd found. Sarah Hayworth, young and smiling, holding her infant daughter. Where was she now? Why had she never come back for this beautiful little girl who still waited for her? And more importantly, was she even still alive to come back? The Sunny Ridge Children's Home sat on a quiet street lined with maple trees. It was a large, converted Victorian house painted cheerful yellow with white trim, the kind of place designed to look warm and inviting, to soften the hard reality of what it represented. Marcus had followed Vanessa there, unable to simply let Lily disappear into the system without seeing where she'd be staying. He told himself it was professional thoroughness. Deep down, he knew it was something more. Inside, the home was clean and well-maintained. Children's artwork covered the walls. A play area with books and toys occupied one corner of the main room. But despite the efforts at cheerfulness, there was an underlying sadness, the knowledge that every child here had a story of loss. Mrs. Patricia Coleman, the home's director, greeted them warmly. She was a woman in her 60s with silver hair and gentle hands that had comforted countless frightened children. "You must be Lily," she said, kneeling to the girl's level. "I'm Mrs. Coleman. We've been getting a room ready just for you. Would you like to see it?" Lily pressed closer to Marcus, her fingers gripping his uniform sleeve. "Is Officer Marcus staying too?" "Officer Marcus can visit, sweetie, but this is a special place just for children while grown-ups work on finding them permanent homes." The word permanent seemed to frighten Lily more than comfort her. "But I have a home, with Grandma Nora." Mrs. Coleman's expression softened with understanding. "I know, sweetheart. And we're going to make sure your grandma gets all the help she needs. Right now, this is the safest place for you." Vanessa helped Lily get settled into a small but comfortable room on the second floor. A twin bed with a colorful quilt, a dresser, a desk by the window. Another girl, perhaps 9 years old, was already there, reading on her own bed. "This is Maya," Mrs. Coleman said. "She's been here a few months. Maya, this is Lily. Maybe you can show her around?" Maya looked up and offered a shy smile. "Hi." Lily didn't respond, just clutched Hope the rabbit tighter. After the formal intake was complete, Vanessa needed to return to her office to file reports. "I'll check on you tomorrow, Lily," she promised. "Be brave, okay?" That left Marcus standing awkwardly in the hallway with a little girl who looked utterly lost. "Want to take a walk outside?" he suggested. "Just around the yard?" Lily nodded silently. They sat together on a bench beneath a large oak tree. The afternoon sun filtered through the leaves, creating dancing shadows on the ground. "I know this is hard," Marcus began. "Everything is changing so fast. I want Grandma Nora," Lily whispered. "She needs me. What if she wakes up and I'm not there? She'll be so scared." Marcus pulled out his phone and showed her a text he'd received from the hospital. "See this? The nurses say your grandma is resting comfortably. They're giving her medicine and food and she's being taken care of. She's safe. But is she asking for me?" Marcus hesitated, then decided on honesty. "She's pretty confused right now, Lily. The doctors say her mind needs time to rest. But when she's feeling better, I'll make sure you can see her, I promise." "Everyone makes promises," Lily said quietly, staring at her worn shoes. "Mama promised to come back. Grandma promised she'd take care of me. But promises break sometimes." The words hit Marcus like a physical blow. He thought about his own broken promises, to his sister Rebecca, to himself, to the people he'd let down over the years by choosing distance over connection. "You're right," he said after a moment. "Sometimes promises do break. Sometimes people want to keep them but can't. That doesn't mean they didn't mean them when they made them." He reached into his pocket and pulled out an old, worn business card, his personal cell number written on the back. "But here's what I can promise you, Lily. I will not disappear. I will check on you. And if you ever need to talk to someone, you can call this number. Anytime, day or night." Lily took the card carefully, studying it like it was precious. Really? Anytime? Anytime. For the first time since leaving her grandmother's house, Lily's expression softened slightly. "Why are you being so nice to me? You don't even know me." Marcus had to think about that. Why was he getting so involved? He'd handled hundreds of cases over his career, seen countless children in difficult situations. What made this one different? Then he realized it was her eyes. Those old, knowing eyes that reminded him so much of Rebecca's the last time he'd seen her, full of hurt and resignation, believing that no one would really show up when it mattered. "I had a sister," Marcus said slowly. "Her name is Rebecca. When she was going through hard times, I wasn't there for her. I was too busy, too proud, too scared to deal with messy feelings, and I lost her because of it. I haven't seen her in 15 years. Did she?" Lily couldn't finish the question. "I don't know. I never looked for her. I was afraid of what I might find, or that she wouldn't want to see me." He paused. "But talking to you today made me realize something. Running away from people we care about doesn't protect us from pain. It just guarantees we'll carry regret instead." Lily was quiet for a long moment. Then she said something that would haunt Marcus for weeks. "Mama ran away from pain too, I think. Grandma said bad things were happening and Mama needed to escape, but maybe she got so far away she couldn't find her way back." Marcus felt his chest tighten. This 7-year-old child understood things about loss and absence that most adults spent lifetimes trying to process. "I'm going to try to find your mom, Lily. I can't promise I'll succeed, but I promise I'll try. You deserve to know what happened to her." "What if," Lily's voice trembled, "what if she doesn't want to be found? What if she forgot about me like I'm forgetting what she looks like?" Marcus put his hand gently on her shoulder. "Then at least we'll know, and knowing even when it hurts is better than wondering forever." Inside the home, Mrs. Coleman was calling for dinner. Lily stood up slowly, still holding hope. "Officer Marcus," she said as they walked back, "when you look for your sister, will you tell me if you find her?" "I will. Promise?" Marcus knelt down one more time, meeting her eyes directly. "I promise, and I'm going to try really hard not to break this one." Lily wrapped her small arms around his neck in a sudden, fierce hug. Then she pulled back, wiped her eyes, and walked toward the house with her head held high. A little girl trying desperately to be brave in a world that had asked too much of her too soon. Marcus watched her go, then sat back in his patrol car. He pulled out his phone and stared at it for a long time before finally typing into the search bar, "How to find a missing person." But first he had another search to conduct. He opened his glove compartment and pulled out a cardboard box he'd been carrying around for years. The box full of unopened letters from Rebecca, all returned to sender, all marks of his failure to reach out. He opened the first one with shaking hands. "Dear Marcus, I know you're angry with me. I know I've disappointed you, but I'm trying to get better. There's a program here that might help. I just wanted you to know I'm still alive. I'm still your sister. I miss you. Please write back. Love, Becca." The date was from 7 years ago. Marcus felt tears burn his eyes. How many chances had he wasted? How much time had he thrown away? He looked back at the yellow house where Lily was probably sitting down to dinner, surrounded by strangers, still waiting for a mother who might never return. He made a decision right there. He would find Sarah Hayworth, and he would find Rebecca. Some promises, he thought, were worth keeping, even when they came years too late. The next morning, Marcus sat at his desk at the Millbrook police station, surrounded by files, old newspapers, and a lukewarm cup of coffee that had long since gone cold. Sarah Hayworth had been surprisingly easy to find in the system, and heartbreakingly difficult to track beyond it. Her record painted a troubling picture: multiple arrests for possession over a 5-year period, several domestic disturbance calls where she was listed as the victim, stays in 2 different shelters, and 3 failed attempts at rehabilitation programs. The last official record was from 22 months ago, a minor possession charge in Ridgemont, a town about 40 miles east. After that, nothing. She'd simply vanished from every database. Marcus called the Ridgemont Police Department. A bored-sounding officer named Patterson took his call. Sarah Hayworth? Yeah, I remember that name coming through here a while back. Let me pull the file. There was the sound of papers shuffling. Right. 22 months ago, picked up with a small amount of pills. Judge gave her probation and mandatory counseling. She showed up for the first 2 sessions, then stopped coming. Warrant was issued, but honestly, we've got bigger fish to fry than someone who skipped out on probation for personal possession. Any known associates? Places she frequented? There's a note here that she was staying at the Harmony House shelter for a few weeks. That's over on Madison Street, run by a church group. They might remember her. Marcus thanked him and immediately called the shelter. A warm voice answered. A woman named Sister Margaret. Sarah Hayworth, she repeated thoughtfully when Marcus explained why he was calling. Oh yes, I remember Sarah. Sweet girl, but carrying such heavy burdens. She stayed with us for maybe 6 weeks total. This was, goodness, over a year and a half ago now. Do you remember anything specific about her? Where she might have gone? She talked about her daughter constantly. Lily, right? She carried a photograph of her everywhere, showed it to everyone. She was desperate to get clean, to get her life together so she could go back for her baby. But addiction is a cruel thing, officer. It makes promises the person can't always keep. Marcus felt his grip tighten on the phone. Did she mention her mother? Nora Hayworth? Oh yes, she felt terrible guilt about leaving Lily with her mother. She knew Nora was getting older, that her memory was starting to slip even back then. But Sarah said she was in such a dark place, involved with such dangerous people, that she felt Lily was safer with Nora than with her. She planned to come back once she got stable, but she never did. Sister Margaret's voice grew sad. She left the shelter one day and never came back. We tried to follow up, but she paused. Officer, in our line of work, we learn to hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. People in Sarah's situation, they sometimes just disappear. Into other cities, other situations, or... She didn't finish, but Marcus understood. Is there anyone else who might have known her? Friends? Other residents? There was another young woman she was close to, Darcy Simmons. They were going through recovery together. I can give you Darcy's number if she's still at the same one. Marcus scribbled down the information. Thank you, Sister Margaret. If you hear anything, I'll call immediately. And officer, that little girl, how is she? Marcus thought about Lily clutching her rabbit, trying to be brave in a strange place. She's safe, for now. God bless you for looking out for her. Children shouldn't have to pay for their parents' struggles. After hanging up, Marcus sat in silence for a moment. Then he called the number for Darcy Simmons. A cautious voice answered. Hello, Ms. Simmons? This is Officer Marcus Brennan from Millbrook PD. I'm trying to locate information about Sarah Hayworth. I understand you knew her. There was a long pause. Is Sarah in trouble? I don't know, that's what I'm trying to find out. Her daughter needs her. Lily, Darcy said softly. Sarah talked about her all the time. It broke my heart. Another pause. Look, officer, Sarah and I went through some dark times together. We both were trying to get clean, trying to start over. But the pull, it's stronger than people understand. When did you last see her? Maybe 14, 15 months ago? We'd both left the shelter. I managed to get into a sober living house, got a job at a diner. Sarah, she was struggling more. She met up with some old connections, people who weren't good for her recovery. I tried to convince her to come stay where I was, but she said she needed to handle some things first, make some money so she could go back for Lily. Marcus felt dread settling in his stomach. What kind of people? The kind that trade favors for fixes, if you know what I mean. I begged her not to go back to that life, but addiction makes you believe lies, makes you think you can control it this time. Do you know where she might have gone? Any names? There was a guy, Jake something, had a place over by the old textile mill in Ridgemont. That whole area is rough. I heard through the grapevine that she'd been seen around there, but then, Darcy's voice caught. Then I heard she wasn't around anymore. People were saying she'd moved on to another city maybe. or that something bad happened. Nobody knew for sure. Darcy, this is important. Did anyone official ever contact you about Sarah? Police? Hospital? Anyone? No, why would they? Marcus's mind was racing. The county morgue, unclaimed bodies. Did you ever hear about— Oh God, Darcy interrupted. Officer, are you saying— I'm not saying anything yet. I'm just trying to find the truth. After the call ended, Marcus sat staring at his computer screen. He'd been avoiding the next logical step, hoping he wouldn't have to take it. But Lily deserved answers, even if they were painful ones. He picked up his phone and called the Ridgemont County Medical Examiner's office. This is Officer Brennan from Millbrook. I need to inquire about unidentified remains from approximately 8 to 18 months ago. Female, mid-20s to early 30s. The clerk put him on hold. Marcus waited, his heart pounding. Finally, a voice returned. Officer, we have 3 cases matching that general description from that time period. Would you like to come review the files? Marcus closed his eyes. Yes, I'll be there this afternoon. Before leaving the station, he made one more call. To Sunny Ridge. This is Officer Brennan. I'd like to check on Lily Hayworth. Mrs. Coleman's voice was reassuring. She's doing okay, considering. She ate breakfast this morning. Not much, but some. Maya has been showing her around. She's very quiet, but that's normal for new arrivals. Would it be appropriate for me to visit her later today? There was a brief pause. Officer, you understand that getting too attached isn't advisable. These children need stability, and if you're just going to— I'm not going anywhere, Marcus said firmly. I made her a promise, and I intend to keep it. Then yes, you may visit. She asked about you this morning, actually. Asked if you'd called. Marcus felt something tighten in his chest. Tell her I'll be there tomorrow, and tell her I'm keeping my promise. I'm looking for her mom. As he drove toward Ridgemont, Marcus thought about the box of letters from Rebecca still sitting on his passenger seat. He'd read 3 more last night. Each one was a plea for connection, for forgiveness, for family. The most recent was from 5 years ago. After that, nothing. He'd failed Rebecca by not responding. He wouldn't fail Lily the same way. But first, he had to face what he feared most, walking into that medical examiner's office and possibly identifying the body of a young mother who'd fought her demons and lost, leaving behind a little girl who still waited for her return. The afternoon sun cast long shadows across the highway as Marcus drove east, toward answers he both needed and dreaded to find. Marcus visited Lily at Sunny Ridge every few days over the next 2 weeks. Each time he brought small gifts, a coloring book with markers, a puzzle, a stuffed bear to keep Hope the rabbit company. Lily never asked for these things, but she treasured each one carefully, arranging them on the small shelf beside her bed like precious artifacts. Vanessa Torres noticed Marcus's frequent visits. One afternoon, she pulled him aside in the hallway, her expression concerned. Marcus, we need to talk. They stepped into Mrs. Coleman's office, empty at the moment. Vanessa crossed her arms, her social worker instincts clearly engaged. You're getting too attached to this child. You know that, right? Marcus felt defensive immediately. I'm just checking on her, making sure she's okay. No, you're doing more than that. You're becoming someone she relies on, someone she's bonding with. And when we find her a permanent placement, and we will, you're going to disappear from her life. That's going to hurt her, Marcus. Again. The words stung because they carried truth. I told her I wouldn't disappear. And how exactly do you plan to stay in her life long term? You're not family. You're not a foster parent. You're a police officer who happened to respond to a call. The system doesn't have a category for what you're trying to be. Marcus ran his hand through his graying hair. So what are you saying? That I should just stop coming, stop caring? I'm saying you need to think about what's best for Lily, not what makes you feel better about your own regrets. The accusation hit like a slap. Marcus stared at Vanessa, anger rising. You think this is about me? Isn't it? You told me yourself about your sister, about Rebecca, about how you failed to be there for her. Now here's this little girl who needs someone, and suddenly you're the hero who shows up. It's convenient, Marcus, maybe too convenient. That's not fair. Maybe not, but it's true. Vanessa's voice softened slightly. Look, I can see you genuinely care about Lily, but caring isn't enough. She needs stability, permanence, a real home. Can you give her that? Because if you can't, then you're just another person who's going to let her down eventually." Marcus had no answer. He left the office feeling hollowed out, Vanessa's words echoing in his mind. He found Lily in the common room, sitting alone by the window with a book open in her lap, though she wasn't reading, just staring outside. "Hey, kiddo," he said, sitting beside her. She looked up, and her face brightened slightly. A small change, but noticeable. "You came. I promised I would." They sat in comfortable silence for a moment. Finally, Marcus spoke. "Lily, I want to tell you something. About my sister Rebecca." Lily closed her book, giving him her full attention. "When Rebecca was struggling, when she needed help, I wasn't there. I told myself I was too busy, that she needed to figure things out herself, that getting involved would just make things messier." He paused. "But the truth is, I was scared. Scared of her problems, scared of failing, scared of feeling helpless, so I did nothing. And I lost her. Do you think she's—" Lily couldn't finish. "I don't know. I never looked for her. That's what makes it worse. Not knowing. And knowing it's my own fault for not trying." Lily was quiet, processing this. Then she said something that stopped Marcus's heart. "Mama ran away from scary things too. Grandma said bad people were hurting her and she had to leave to be safe. But maybe she ran so far she couldn't find her way back. Maybe she wanted to, but didn't know how." The wisdom in those words, coming from a 7-year-old who'd lived through more loss than most adults, was staggering. "I'm going to find your mom, Lily. I'm going to try my hardest. I can't promise what I'll discover, but I promise I'll look. What if—" Her voice became very small. "What if she doesn't want to be found? What if I wasn't enough reason for her to come back?" Marcus turned to face her fully. "Listen to me. Whatever happened with your mom, it wasn't because of you. Sometimes grown-ups make choices or have choices made for them that have nothing to do with how much they love their children. Your mom loved you. Your grandma told you that, and I believe it's true. Then why didn't she come back? I don't know yet, but I'm going to find out." Lily studied his face for a long moment, as if trying to decide whether to trust this promise. Finally, she reached into her pocket and pulled out the business card he'd given her, now worn and creased from being carried everywhere. "I keep this with me," she said, "in case I need to remember someone cares." Marcus felt his throat tighten. "I do care, Lily, more than I probably should, according to some people. But I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know exactly how all of this is going to work out. I don't know if I can be in your life forever. The system is complicated." "I know about complicated," Lily said simply. Grandma Nora was complicated, loving her was complicated, but it was still real. From the mouths of children, Marcus thought, come the deepest truths. "You're a very wise kid, you know that?" Lily shrugged. "Maya says I'm too serious. She says I should play more, laugh more, but I forgot how." "Then maybe we should practice," Marcus suggested. "What did you used to like to do, before everything got hard?" Lily thought for a long moment. "Grandma used to take me to feed ducks at the pond, back when she could still remember things better. We'd bring old bread and watch them swim. It made her happy." "There's a pond not far from here," Marcus said. "How about next time I visit we go feed the ducks? With Mrs. Coleman's permission, of course." For the first time since he'd met her, Lily actually smiled. A real, genuine smile that reached her eyes. "Really? Really?" As Marcus left Sunny Ridge that evening, he passed Vanessa in the parking lot. She looked at him with an expression he couldn't quite read. "You're not going to stop, are you?" she asked. "No," Marcus said simply. "I'm not." Vanessa sighed, but there might have been the hint of a smile. "Then, at least be smart about it. If you're going to be in that girl's life, do it right. Make it official. Look into becoming a certified mentor through the program. That way it's not just you showing up randomly. It's structured, approved, documented." Marcus looked at her in surprise. "You'd support that?" "I think you're reckless and emotionally compromised," Vanessa said bluntly. "But I also think you're one of the few people who's actually seeing Lily as a person, not a case file. So yes, do it right, and I'll support it." That night, Marcus sat in his apartment with Rebecca's letters spread across his coffee table. He'd read them all now. 15 letters spanning 7 years, each one a plea for connection that he'd ignored. Marcus visited Lily at Sunny Ridge every few days. Each time he brought small gifts, a coloring book, markers, a puzzle, a stuffed bear to keep Hope company. Lily never asked for anything, but treasured each item carefully, arranging them on her shelf like precious artifacts. Vanessa Torres noticed. One afternoon, she pulled Marcus aside. "We need to talk." They stepped into an empty office. Vanessa crossed her arms. "You're getting too attached, you know that, right?" Marcus felt defensive. "I'm just checking on her." "No, you're becoming someone she relies on. And when we find her permanent placement, you'll disappear from her life. That's going to hurt her again." "I told her I wouldn't disappear." "How do you plan to stay in her life? You're not family. You're not a foster parent. The system doesn't have a category for what you're trying to be." Marcus had no answer. Vanessa's voice softened. "I see you care, but caring isn't enough. She needs stability, permanence. Can you give her that? Because if not, you're just another person who'll let her down." Later, Marcus found Lily by the window, staring outside. "Hey, kiddo." Her face brightened slightly. "You came. I promised." Marcus sat beside her. "I want to tell you about my sister Rebecca. When she needed help, I wasn't there. I was scared of her problems, scared of failing. So I did nothing and I lost her." Lily listened quietly. Then she said, "Mama ran away from scary things too. Maybe she ran so far she couldn't find her way back. I'm going to find your mom, Lily. I promise I'll try. What if she doesn't want to be found? Whatever happened wasn't because of you. Your mom loved you." Lily pulled out his worn business card. "I keep this with me, so I remember someone cares." Marcus's throat tightened. "I care more than I probably should, but I'll be honest, I don't know how this works out. The system is complicated." "I know about complicated," Lily said. "Grandma was complicated, but loving her was still real." "You're very wise." Lily shrugged. "Maya says I'm too serious, that I forgot how to play." "What did you like before?" "Grandma took me to feed ducks, back when she remembered things better. There's a pond nearby. Next visit, we'll feed the ducks together." Lily actually smiled. Real and genuine. Really. Leaving, Marcus passed Vanessa in the parking lot. "You're not stopping, are you?" she asked. "No." Vanessa sighed. "Then do it right. Become a certified mentor. Make it official, structured, approved. You'd support that? You're reckless and emotionally compromised, but you actually see Lily as a person, not a case. So yes, do it right." That night, Marcus read Rebecca's final letter. "I miss my big brother. If you ever want to try again, I'm here. Always your Becca." He picked up his phone and typed, "How to find a missing person." Then he opened a new search. How to become a child mentor. Some promises were worth keeping, even when they came years too late. Marcus stood outside the Ridgemont County Medical Examiner's office, his hand on the door handle, unable to move. Inside were answers he both needed and dreaded. Finally, he pushed through. A clerk led him to a small viewing room where files waited on a metal table. 3 cases. 3 unidentified young women from the past 18 months. "Take your time, officer," the clerk said quietly, leaving him alone. Marcus opened the first file. Wrong hair color, wrong age range. The second, too tall, different features entirely. The third file made his hands shake. Female, approximately 28 to 32 years old. Found 8 months ago. The physical description matched Sarah Hayworth closely enough to twist his stomach into knots. He turned to the inventory of personal effects. His breath caught. A small silver chain with a heart-shaped pendant. Engraved initials, SH. A faded photograph. A baby with dark curls. And a crumpled note on lined paper. Water-stained but still readable. "Lily, Mama's trying to be better. I promise I'll come back. Wait for me, my love. Always your mama." Marcus felt the room spin. He gripped the edge of the table. The medical examiner entered. "Officer, you okay?" "This woman," Marcus managed. "I need DNA confirmation. I have a sample from her daughter. We can arrange that. Takes about a week for results." Marcus photographed the note carefully, then the pendant, burning every detail into his memory. He knew. Deep in his gut, he already knew. Sarah Hayworth had tried. She'd fought her demons, carried her daughter's photo, written promises she'd never be able to keep. And somewhere along the way, she'd lost the battle. His phone buzzed. Vanessa. Lily asked if you'd called. Should I tell her you're still looking? Marcus stared at the message, then at the evidence bag containing a dead woman's last connection to her child. How do you tell a 7-year-old that her mother isn't coming home? That all the waiting was for nothing? He typed back, tell her I'm keeping my promise. I'm getting closer to answers. It wasn't a lie, just not the whole truth. Not yet. As Marcus left the building, his phone rang. An unknown number. Officer Brennan, this is Sunny Ridge. You need to come now. Lily's missing. She ran away during the night. Marcus's blood turned cold. I'm on my way. He ran to his car, tires screeching as he pulled onto the highway. Lily was out there somewhere, alone and scared, just like her mother had been. And Marcus refused to let this story end the same way. Marcus knew exactly where to find her. He drove straight to the blue house on the east side of town, his heart pounding the entire way. Dawn was just breaking, painting the sky in shades of pink and gold that felt too beautiful for the moment. There she was. Lily sat on the sagging front porch, knees pulled to her chest, Hope the rabbit clutched tight. Her face was streaked with tears, her small body shivering in the morning cold. Marcus parked and approached slowly, not wanting to startle her. Hey, kiddo, he said softly, sitting down beside her on the weathered boards. Lily didn't look at him. Grandma needs me here when she comes home from the hospital. She'll be confused if I'm not here. Lily, your grandma's getting the care she needs. She's safe. But she's alone. She doesn't like being alone. It scares her. Marcus felt his chest tighten. I know this is hard. Everything's changing so fast and none of it feels fair. It's not fair, Lily whispered. I didn't do anything wrong. Why does everyone leave? The question hung in the cold morning air, simple, devastating, unanswerable. Marcus thought about the evidence bag at the medical examiner's office, about Sarah's note promising to return, about Nora's desperate attempts to remember, about Rebecca's letters begging for connection. Sometimes people don't leave because they want to, he said carefully. Sometimes life gets too hard, too complicated, and they can't find their way back even when they desperately want to. Like Mama? Marcus took a deep breath. Lily, I need to tell you something about your mom. I've been searching for her like I promised. And I found some things that might give us answers, but I need a little more time to be sure. Lily finally looked at him, those old eyes seeing right through him. She's not coming back, is she? The directness of it broke something in Marcus. He couldn't lie to her. Not about this. I don't think so, sweetheart. I'm so sorry. Lily nodded slowly, as if she'd known all along but needed someone to finally say it out loud. Fresh tears spilled down her cheeks. Grandma knew too. That's why she cried when she looked at Mama's picture. She knew, but her brain wouldn't let her remember for long. So she got to hope over and over again, even though the truth was always there. The wisdom of it, the heartbreaking understanding, left Marcus speechless. He put his arm around her thin shoulders, and she leaned against him, crying quietly as the sun rose over the broken-down house where time had stopped. I'm still here, Marcus said. I'm not leaving. That's a promise I can keep. Everyone says that. I know, but I mean it, and I'm going to prove it. They sat together as the neighborhood slowly woke up. Cars starting, dogs barking, the ordinary sounds of life continuing despite everything. Officer Marcus, Lily said finally, when you find out for sure about Mama, will you tell me the truth, even if it hurts? Yes, you deserve the truth. Okay. She took a shaky breath. Can we sit here a little longer? Just until the sun is all the way up? As long as you need. So they waited together, a veteran cop and a 7-year-old girl, both carrying losses too heavy for their hearts, both trying to figure out how to keep going when the people they loved couldn't come back. When Mrs. Coleman arrived with Vanessa, relief flooding both their faces, Lily stood up on her own. I'm ready to go back now, she said quietly, but I needed to say goodbye first. She touched the porch railing one last time, then walked toward the car without looking back. Marcus watched her go. This impossibly brave child teaching him lessons about grief and resilience he'd never learned in 28 years on the force. His phone buzzed. The DNA lab. Results expedited. Positive match confirmed. Sarah Hayworth. Deceased. Marcus closed his eyes. Now came the hardest part, telling Lily the truth she already knew in her heart. Marcus drove to the county care facility where Nora Hayworth was being treated. He needed to tell her first, before Lily. The old woman deserved to know, even if her fractured mind might not hold on to the information. A nurse led him to a sunny common room where Nora sat in a wheelchair by the window, staring at nothing in particular. "Mrs. Hayworth?" Marcus sat down across from her. "It's Officer Brennan. We met at your house. I've been taking care of Lily." Nora's clouded eyes focused on him slowly. "Lily, is she safe?" "She's safe, but I need to talk to you about Sarah." At her daughter's name, something shifted in Nora's expression. A flicker of recognition, of dread, of something she'd been holding at bay. "Sarah," she repeated softly. Then her face crumpled. "Oh God, you found her, didn't you?" Marcus was stunned by the sudden clarity. "Yes, ma'am, I'm so sorry. She passed away about 8 months ago." Nora began to cry, not the confused tears of dementia, but the deep, wrenching sobs of a mother who'd lost her child. "I knew," she whispered between sobs. "I knew. Someone called me months ago from some office. They said they had a body that matched Sarah's description. They needed me to identify, to confirm." Marcus leaned forward. "What happened?" I hung up. I was so scared. If I confirmed it was Sarah, they'd come for Lily. They'd take her away from me, so I pretended I never got the call. I let my mind forget. It was easy. The forgetting was already happening anyway. Her hands shook violently. I told myself maybe it wasn't her. Maybe Sarah was still out there somewhere. And my brain, my terrible broken brain, it let me believe it. Over and over, every morning I could believe it again. "Mrs. Hayworth, I failed her," Nora continued, her voice breaking. "I failed Sarah when she was alive. I saw the signs, the wrong people, the substances, the bruises she tried to hide. But I didn't know how to help. I was already forgetting things, already losing pieces of myself. And then she was gone, and all I had left was Lily." She grabbed Marcus's hand with surprising strength. "I tried so hard to take care of that baby. I wrote everything down, tried to remember. But I was drowning, officer. My mind was leaving me bit by bit, and I was terrified. Terrified of losing Lily. Terrified of failing her like I failed Sarah. You did your best. My best wasn't good enough." The outburst seemed to exhaust her. She slumped back in the wheelchair. That little girl deserved so much better than a sick old woman who couldn't even remember to feed her properly. Marcus felt tears stinging his own eyes. "You loved her. That counted for something." Nora's moment of clarity began to fade. Her eyes grew distant again. Is Sarah coming to visit today?" She hasn't been by in so long. The shift was heartbreaking. Marcus squeezed her hand gently. "Mrs. Hayworth, I promise you, Lily will be taken care of. She won't be alone." "Lily?" Nora murmured, her mind drifting further away. "Sweet Lily, just like the flowers. Sarah loved lilies. That's why she named her that. I'll make sure Lily knows that." Nora looked at him one more time, a final flash of lucidity crossing her face. "Don't let her think she wasn't loved, officer, please. Both of them were loved so much. Sarah tried. God knows she tried. And I tried. We couldn't win against all the things that were bigger than us." "I'll tell her," Marcus promised. "I'll make sure she knows." As he left the facility, Marcus called Vanessa. "I have confirmation. Sarah Hayworth died 8 months ago. I need to tell Lily. I need you there when I do. I'll arrange it. Marcus, this is going to be hard. I know, but she deserves the truth. She's strong enough to handle it." "Are you?" Marcus looked up at the gray sky. "I have to be." 3 days after learning the truth about her mother, Lily sat quietly in Mrs. Coleman's office. Marcus and Vanessa were there too, along with 2 people Lily had never met before. "Lily," Vanessa began gently, "these are Raymond and Judith Cartwright. They'd like to talk with you about possibly becoming your foster family." Raymond was a tall man in his 50s with kind eyes and calloused hands. Judith had warm brown eyes and graying hair pulled back in a loose bun. They both smiled at Lily, but not the fake smiles adults sometimes used with children. These were genuine, a little nervous even. "Hi, Lily," Judith said softly. "It's really nice to meet you." Lily said nothing, just clutched Hope tighter. We live on a small farm just outside town, Raymond explained. We have chickens, a couple of goats, and an old horse named Chester, plus a dog called Barley who's very friendly. We know this is scary, Judith continued. Meeting strangers, thinking about leaving the only home you've known here. But we'd really like the chance to get to know you, if you're willing. Why? Lily asked quietly. It was the first word she'd spoken. Raymond and Judith exchanged glances. Because, Judith said honestly, we have a lot of love to give, and we believe every child deserves a safe, stable home. We can't have children of our own, but that doesn't mean we can't be parents to a child who needs us. What if I'm too sad? What if I cry a lot? Judith's eyes glistened. Then we'll sit with you while you cry. Sadness isn't something to be ashamed of, sweetheart. It's just proof you've loved people. Marcus watched Lily's face carefully. He saw the wall she'd built starting to show small cracks. Would you like to visit our farm? Raymond asked. No pressure. Just come see where we live, meet the animals. If you don't like it, that's okay too. Lily looked at Marcus. Will you come? If the Cartwrights don't mind, I'd like that. We'd welcome it, Judith said warmly. The farm was everything they'd described. Peaceful, simple, loved. The house was small but immaculate, with handmade quilts and family photos on the walls. The barn was well kept, animals healthy and content. Barley, a golden retriever mix, bounded up to Lily immediately, tail wagging. Despite herself, Lily's hand reached out to pet him. He likes you, Raymond observed. Barley's a good judge of character. They showed Lily what would be her room if she decided to stay. Painted soft yellow, with a window overlooking the pasture where Chester grazed. Simple furniture, clean linens, a bookshelf waiting to be filled. You could decorate it however you want, Judith offered. Make it yours. Lily walked to the window. It's quiet here. Too quiet? Judith asked, concerned. No, good quiet, like peaceful. After the visit, Marcus drove Lily back to Sunny Ridge. She was unusually talkative. They seem nice, she said. Really nice, but what? What if they change their mind? What if I do something wrong and they don't want me anymore? Marcus pulled the car over, turning to face her. Lily, listen to me. The Cartwrights have been through months of training, background checks, home visits. They know this won't be easy. They're choosing you anyway. That's not something they'd do lightly. But Mama chose me too. Then she left. Your mama didn't choose to leave you. She got caught in something bigger than her, something she couldn't fight her way out of. That's not the same thing. Lily was quiet for a long moment. Will you still visit me if I go there? This was the question Marcus had been dreading. He'd looked into becoming a certified mentor, started the process, but it would take weeks to complete. I want to, but I need to do it the right way, through official channels. It might take some time. So you'll disappear too? No. Lily, look at me. He waited until her eyes met his. I am going through the process to become your official mentor. It's going to take a few weeks, but I'm doing it. I will be part of your life, if you'll let me. I promise. Everyone promises. I know, but I'm keeping this one. Marcus filled out form after form, sat through interview after interview. The process to become a certified mentor was deliberately thorough. Background checks, psychological evaluations, references, training sessions. During one particularly grueling session, a supervisor named Dr. Helen Chen asked him the question he'd been dreading. Officer Brennan, you're 52, unmarried, no children, and you've spent nearly 3 decades focused solely on your career. Why now? Why this particular child? Marcus could have given a safe answer. Instead, he chose honesty. Because I spent my whole life avoiding real connections. I told myself it was easier, safer. Then I met a 7-year-old girl in a grocery store who was braver than I've ever been, and I realized something. Feeling something, even when it hurts, is better than feeling nothing at all. Dr. Chen studied him over her glasses. And if we deny this application, I'll appeal. And if that fails, I'll find another way. Because I made her a promise, and I'm done breaking promises to people who need me. 3 weeks later, the approval came through. Marcus drove to the Cartwright farm, where Lily had been living for 2 weeks. Vanessa had arranged the visit. When he pulled up, Lily was in the yard with Judith, scattering feed for the chickens. She looked different, cleaner, healthier, wearing clothes that actually fit. But more than that, there was a lightness to her movements that hadn't been there before. She spotted his car and ran over, a genuine smile on her face. "You came. I told you I would. And I have news." He knelt down to her level. "I'm officially approved as your mentor. That means I can visit regularly, take you on outings, be part of your life. For real." Lily threw her arms around his neck, squeezing tight. "You kept your promise." "I did. And I'll keep the next ones too." Raymond and Judith welcomed him warmly. Over lemonade on the porch, they talked about Lily's adjustment. "She's doing remarkably well," Judith said. "Still has nightmares sometimes. Still gets very quiet when she's processing things. But she's opening up bit by bit." She asked if she could plant a garden, Raymond added. Something about wanting to grow flowers like her grandma used to. Marcus felt his chest tighten. "How is she handling everything?" "About her mom." Judith glanced toward Lily, who was now sitting with Barley under a tree. "She talks about Sarah sometimes. Not with sadness exactly, but with acceptance. She said something beautiful the other day. She said her mama tried her best and that's what matters." Later, Marcus took Lily to feed the ducks at the pond he'd promised her weeks ago. They sat on the bank, tossing bread pieces and watching the birds glide across the water. "I'm glad you're here," Lily said quietly. "Raymond and Judith are really nice, but you're my person. Does that make sense?" Marcus felt emotion well up. "Yeah, kiddo. That makes perfect sense. You're my person too, even though you have a job and other things. Even though some people just matter more than other things." Lily thought about this. "I hope you find your sister, Rebecca. I hope she's okay." "Me too. Actually, I've started looking. Really looking this time." "That's good. Everyone deserves someone who looks for them." As they drove back to the farm, Lily said something that would stay with Marcus forever. "Family isn't perfect, is it? It's just people who keep showing up." "Yeah," Marcus agreed. "That's exactly what it is." 6 months passed. Lily flourished at the Cartwright farm. Her grades improved, she made friends at school, and her smile came more easily. Marcus visited every week without fail, becoming a constant presence in her life. One afternoon, Marcus arrived with unexpected news. "Lily, I found her. I found Rebecca." Lily's eyes widened. "Your sister? Really?" "She's in a recovery program 2 states over. She's been sober for 18 months. I called her yesterday." "What did she say?" Marcus's voice cracked slightly. "She said she'd been hoping I'd reach out, that she never stopped being my sister." "Are you going to see her?" "Next week." "And Lily, I was wondering if you'd like to come with me. The Cartwright said it's okay if you want to." The visit was emotional. Rebecca, thin but healthy, cried when she saw Marcus. They embraced for a long time, years of silence melting away. Rebecca knelt down to meet Lily. "So you're the brave girl my brother's been telling me about?" Lily nodded shyly. "He says you taught him it's never too late to fix what's broken. Thank you for that." On the drive home, Lily said quietly, "Families don't have to be perfect. They just have to keep trying." Marcus smiled. "Where'd you learn that?" "From you, and Grandma Nora, and Mama. Everyone tried their best." The call came on a quiet Tuesday morning. Nora Hayworth had passed peacefully in her sleep. Marcus picked Lily up from school personally with the Cartwright's permission. He sat with her on a park bench and told her gently. Lily cried, not hysterically, but with deep, genuine grief. "She tried so hard to take care of me." "She did, sweetheart. She loved you so much." Marcus arranged a simple funeral at a small chapel. Lily, now 8 years old, surprised everyone by asking to speak. With trembling hands, she read from a letter she'd written with Judith's help. "Dear Grandma Nora, thank you for keeping me safe when you were scared. Thank you for trying, even when your mind made it hard. I know you loved Mama and I know you loved me. I forgive you for the times you forgot, and I'll never forget you. Love, Lily." Marcus, Raymond, Judith, Vanessa, and Rebecca all attended, forming a circle of support around the little girl who'd lost so much. After the service, they returned to the farm. Lily asked if they could plant something in Grandma Nora's memory. Together, they planted a white rose bush in the garden, Lily's hands alongside Marcus's, digging into the rich earth, creating something beautiful from grief. As Lily patted down the soil, she looked up at Marcus. "Grandma taught me that loving someone means never giving up on them, even when it's really hard. That's what you did for me too." Marcus's eyes filled with tears. "And that's what you taught me, Lily. About second chances, about showing up, about being brave enough to care." The rose bush would bloom every spring, a living reminder that love persists. Imperfect, complicated, but real. 2 years later, Lily stood backstage at her elementary school, waiting to speak at an assembly about resilience and hope. She was 10 now, thriving in 5th grade, a bright student with close friends, and a family who loved her. In the audience sat Marcus, the Cartwrights, Rebecca and Vanessa, her chosen family, the people who'd shown up when it mattered. Raymond and Judith had officially adopted Lily a year ago. She'd chosen to keep Hayworth as her middle name, honoring both Nora and Sarah. When her name was called, Lily walked confidently to the microphone. "My name is Lily Hayworth Cartwright," she began, her voice clear and strong. "I want to tell you about being seen." She spoke about Nora, who loved despite confusion, about Sarah, who tried despite her struggles, about Marcus, who appeared and stayed, about the Cartwrights, who opened their home and hearts. "Family isn't about being perfect," she said. "It's about not giving up. It's about showing up, even when it's hard. And it's about being seen, really seen by people who care." The audience erupted in applause. Marcus wiped his eyes, Rebecca squeezed his hand, and the Cartwrights beamed with pride. After the assembly, Lily ran to Marcus and hugged him tight. "Thank you for seeing me that day in the store. Thank you for teaching me what really matters," he replied. As they walked out together, this unlikely family bound not by blood but by choice and commitment, the sun broke through the clouds. The final image showed them all together, Lily holding hands with Judith on one side and Marcus on the other, Raymond's arm around his wife, Rebecca walking beside her brother. Not all endings are perfect, but some are real, and real is enough.